Hey friends, Tony here from TL Yarn Crafts, and today we're making my Bloom-filled square. This square was designed in collaboration with Simply Crochet Magazine in honor of Granny Square Day, a one-day celebration of all things crochet squares. Find a link in the description below for details about this event and the full written pattern. The Bloom-filled square starts with a Tunisian crochet circle made from short rows. After you make the circle, a two-part border is added to make it a square. All materials mentioned in this video are linked in the description. Now let's get started. To make your Bloom-filled square, you'll need 2 colors of worsted weight yarn. I'm using this super soft Swish worsted from We Crochet. You'll also need a 5mm crochet hook. Be sure to have a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle nearby too. Finally, you'll want some blocking supplies. Crochet squares always look a bit more crisp after you block them, and I'll cover that towards the end of this video. We'll begin our circle with the first of our 2 colors and place a slip knot on the hook. Then chain 10. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Flip your chain over and pull up a loop in the back bump of the second chain from the hook. Yarn over, pull up that loop. There are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop for chain 1. Yarn over, pull through both loops on hook to complete that row. Now we're going to pull up a loop in that first stitch, 2 loops on your hook, pull up a loop in the next chain, 3 loops on your hook. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops. For the next row, we'll pull up a loop in each vertical bar. So we've got 1 and 2 for the stitches we've already done. Then pull up a loop in the next chain. So this is how we'll create our short rows, and we'll have 6 total wedges in our circle. So we chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2 until there's 1 loop left on our hook. Continue by pulling up loops in your vertical bars. So we've got 4 loops on our hook here, and pull up a loop in the next chain to give us 5 loops. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 until 1 loop is left on the hook. And continue that down the chain. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 until there are 2 loops left on the hook, and then we'll change color. So I now have 2 loops left on my hook. I'm going to drop my work for just a second and grab my other color yarn. If you're working with just one color for your square, you can continue from here, but I'm going to cut and grab my new color, which is going to be this soft gray. I want to leave maybe like a 3 or 4 inch tail. Yarn over with that new color, pull up the loop, and then I can start my next wedge. So I'm going to pull up a loop in the next vertical bar, and just like before, I'm going to chain 1, yarn over, and pull through 2. Next, I'm going to pull up a loop in that bar and in the next vertical bar on my previous wedge, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and through 2. Pull up loops in your vertical bars on your current wedge and the next vertical bar on your previous wedge. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, 2, and 2. And we're going to continue this all the way down the row like we did on our previous wedge. When you get to your final row on this wedge, join me back here and I'll show you how we'll end that forward pass. I've got a few stitches left on the forward pass of this last row of this wedge. Let's see here, this is 9, and 10 is going to go in the same last chain as our first color. And by putting all of our final stitches into this chain, it'll make sure we don't have any holes in the middle of our circle. So we're going to finish up by chaining 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, until we have 2 loops left on our hook. And of course, it's going to be time to cut this color and change back to orange. You could, of course, change to another color and go for a rainbow theme, or work with all one color and go for something more monochromatic. It's totally up to you. So just continue with these instructions until you have 6 total wedges, and then we're going to bind off, join, and then do our border. I'm headed into the last row on my last wedge here, and I just wanted to show you that I did take a moment to weave in my ends. I left that center end there just in case I needed to do some seaming in the middle, but I should be okay. So let's do this last row. Pull up a loop for 2 loops, 3 loops, here's 4, 5, 6, 7, here's 8, 9, and of course we're pulling up the last loop in the center as we've done for all our other wedges. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and this time we're going to pull until there's 1 loop left on the hook because we won't be changing color anymore. And now we're ready to bind off. Nope. Okay, bind off. We're going to insert our hook into the second vertical bar, yarn over, pull up the loop, and pull through for a slip stitch. Make sure you do this loosely because we will need to use these stitches to seam our circle close. So insert under the vertical bar, yarn over, and pull through both loops on the hook. Insert, yarn over, pull through, insert, yarn over, and pull through both. Insert, yarn over, and pull through both loops, and we're going to do a slip stitch in the center as well, just as that final join. Pull the loop up nice and high, and then we're going to cut, leaving a longer tail than usual because we will need to seam this close. So I'm just grabbing my tapestry needle here. I'm going to thread through that long end, and we're going to start seaming our wedge close. So I need to seam the first wedge to the last wedge. So I'm going to tighten in a little bit here so you can really see what I'm doing, and it's basically a modified mattress stitch. So I'm inserting my hook in the back loops of corresponding stitches. So back loop of a stitch on the left and back loop of a stitch on the right. And the reason I do it this way is it leaves kind of a nice braided detail on the top of the project. If you want something that looks a little bit more seamless to where you can't see it, you can do just a traditional mattress seam up the way here. But I really like how this ends up looking. And then I'll just take a moment to weave in this end, and I'll also weave in the end that's at the center of my circle. Now it's time to add the border. In our first round, we're going to do a series of single crochets that's going to take our number of edge stitches from 54 down to 52. We'll start by grabbing our border color. I'm going to do the light gray, and I'm going to make a slip knot and place that on my hook. I'm using the same 5mm hook I've used for the entire project. And then I want to join to my circle. Now you can join anywhere, but I really like to join just to the right of this bump because there's a little bit of a space where we seamed our circle. So I'm going to insert my hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through both of those loops, and we have a standing single crochet join. Now I'm going to single crochet into the next stitch, and I'm going to single crochet 2 together over my join and the following stitch, and that'll close up that gap. And at this point, I'll just want to single crochet in each stitch around the edge, and you'll want to place 2 decreases evenly around this circle. It doesn't really matter where they go, but that will help us get from 54 stitches down to 52 stitches. I'm going to decrease here. Pull up a loop in the next stitch and pull up a loop in the following stitch. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops to complete your single crochet decrease. We'll want to place 1 more of those somewhere on this circle. Go ahead and do that and join me at the end of your round. Just a couple single crochets left here, And now I can join in my first single crochet of the round, insert under both of the top loops, yarn over, pull through both loops for a slip stitch. And now we can move into round 2 of our circle. Begin round 2 with a chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch as your join, as well as the following stitch. We're going to half double crochet in the stitch after that, yarn over, insert and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on hook, double crochet in the stitch after that, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and through 2. Follow that with a treble crochet, so we're going to yarn over twice, pull up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2 again. And one more treble crochet in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, 2, and 2. Now we're at the corner and we're going to put a double treble, so we're going to yarn over 3 times, pull up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, through 2, and through 2. Follow that with a chain 2. There's 1 and 2, and another double treble in that same stitch. Yarn over 3 times, pull up a loop in the same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, through 2, and through 2. We're going to follow that with 2 treble crochets. So here's 1 and 2, then a double crochet, a half double crochet, and 2 single crochets. So that completes our first corner. If we take a look at our work, we can see a corner starting to emerge. So we're going to repeat these instructions for all 4 corners. So let's do one more together. I'm going to insert my hook, single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Here's 1 and 2, half double in the next stitch, double in the next stitch, well, get rid of the cat hair, then double in the next stitch, treble in the next stitch, as well as the stitch after that. And now we can make our corner. Double treble in the next stitch, chain 2, 1 and 2, double treble in the same stitch, followed by 2 treble crochets. There's 1 and 2, a double crochet, a half double crochet, and 2 single crochets. Repeat those instructions around until you have 4 total corners. Join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet of the round, and then weave in your ends. So we're not done yet. I think the last finishing step is for us to block our square so it's nice and flat and actually square. So I've got a blocking board here, and I'm going to grab some T-pins. I'll use the guidelines on my blocking boards to make sure I have straight edges. So first I'm going to pin down the corner and then stretch it to where it feels right and pin down the next corner. Blocking is really subjective, so if you pin something down and it doesn't feel right, you can always take the pins out and reposition it. Here I'm just counting my squares to make sure I have the same number of squares on the top and the side, so I actually end up with a square. So I went to pin this corner and it felt just a little bit too tight, so I decided to reposition it. So since I repositioned that side, I'll reposition the other side as well. Now I'm going to grab my 4th corner and pin it down, and then use individual pins to pin the sides. I'm done pinning, and now it's time to apply some steam. This is my OG steamer that I've had for years. I love it for craft projects, and I've linked it in the description. I'm just going to turn my steamer on, let it get warmed up, and then I'm just going to evenly apply steam over my entire square. Once you're done steaming, let your square air dry completely. I stepped away to make a fresh cup of tea and pet my cat, and that was just enough time. Unpin your square from the mat and then take a look at your masterpiece. I'm so pleased with how my bloom-filled square turned out, and I really hope you like yours too. You can easily make several of these and seam them together for a blanket, scarf, or even a lacy top. Thanks so much for joining me for this tutorial, and make sure you check out the Granny Square Day hashtag on Instagram. I've linked it below. I'm Tony of TL Yarn Crafts, and I'll see y'all next time.